Before the queen of all shoujo anime, aka Nana, was made by screenwriter Ai Yazawa, she made another show in the late 90s called Gokinjo Monogatari. And it actually still exists. This has to be one of the worst romance animes out there. If you haven't already guessed it by my obvious enthusiasm, this is going to be a rant, so major spoiler alerts ahead. But the anime manages to spoil itself all on its own, so it's not much of a spoiler now, is it? Before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Plus, if you'd like to see more of my unpopular opinions, or you just want to watch me get angry, you should check out my other videos. After this video, thank you very much. The anime follows the 16-year-old girl, Mikako, who seems to have two loves in her life, fashion and her childhood friend Tsutomu. But he's dating Boriko, who's famous in their school for being a hoe with a nice body, hence the name. The pair both seem to have feelings for each other, but everything under the sun and moon coincidentally stands in their way. That's the premise. That probably doesn't even sound all that bad. And it's not. Most romance anime have the same premise, minus the whore in the middle of the drama. But the problem I have with this is that that's all there is. There's no plot. Plot and premise aren't the same thing, but clearly someone was skipping their English classes and doesn't seem to know the difference. The anime's so-called plot is basically just a screenwriter pulling so much random shit out of their ass to keep the story going. I bet the behind the scenes went like this. We need drama. Let's bring up some random girl from the past that we have no intention of elaborating on in later episodes. That should do the trick. It's getting a bit stale. Let's rinse the same love triangle drama we've been teasing for the last 30 episodes. That should keep them entertained. Or, we seem to be in the middle of some juicy conflict. Let's switch back to Norji being a freak in the next episode. That sounds logical. Please make it make sense. That actually brings me to my next point. The pacing in the anime, to put it nicely, was just absolute bollocks. A lot of things took way too long to happen, or they'd happen way too quickly that I'd get uncomfortable. Like, it took far too long for Tsutomu and Mikako to get together, so the anticipation wasn't there anymore when it actually happened. Since they dragged the shit out of that plotline, I just wasn't as invested in the relationship as much as I was at the beginning. So, in other words, I'm not getting involved. And this was the same problem with the other couple, Yusuke and Mariko. It took them twice as long to get together. Also, Yusuke fell in love with Mariko way too fast, like I was actually scared for her. I felt like I was watching a predator preying on a vulnerable woman. And on the topic of predators, can we actually talk about the characters, specifically this guy, Tashiro Yusuke or Yusuke Tashiro. Whichever one it is, I really don't care. Never have I ever laughed so hard at a character in my life, and emphasis on laughing at. Nah, for real, this guy's whole existence is a big fat L. So at the beginning of the anime, I was actually here for Yusuke. In fact, he was my favourite character in the show. He was clearly just a misunderstood guy that was very unlucky in the love department. So when he started going for Mikako, I was rooting for him. But then she chose Tsutomu over him and he took a bit of an L. But that was okay because I was still in his corner. Then Mariko came into the picture and I was once again rooting for him to find love. But then I realised that Yusuke was the biggest fucking idiot in anime. Yusuke was actively finessing and friend-zoning himself. Yes, you've heard me correctly. Friend-zoning himself by will, because he is a weirdo and a loser that has no game. This is already embarrassing in itself, but instead of taking his L and moving on, he just turned into the biggest creep. And how did he do this? He chose to become a predator.
I was rooting for you! We were all rooting for you! How dare you!
He starts stalking Mariko and following her around, unbeknownst to Mariko, might I add, so he can drop her home. Okay, that's perfectly normal. No need to call the cops there. He even goes as far as to call all her friends to find out where she lives so he can go to her house.
Stop it. Get some help.
Even after Mariko told him she was going to see another man. This isn't romantic. This is weird. You're weird. And just deep that he's done all this for a girl that hasn't even claimed him.
I'm a clown.
Just think about that. Let that marinate. Like, how pathetic can you actually be? And you know, it actually manages to get worse. After Mariko gets her heart broken once she finds out her childhood crush has a woman, Yusuke is on her like a magnet. He's right there, licking her arse and being the biggest bleeding simp. clearly preying on a woman in a vulnerable state. And even after doing all this, he still doesn't get the girl. He can't even be a predator properly, like he's such a disgrace. And in the end, when he eventually does get Mariko by choosing her over Ayumi, who was obviously his soulmate, he slaps her. He slaps the girl he spent the whole anime trying to get. And not only is slapping her bad enough, he slaps her in front of all her age mates and has the the audacity to say that he didn't do anything wrong. So the list literally just gets longer and longer. Not only is Yusuke an attention-seeking whore, but he's a simp, a failed predator, and also a woman beater. I feel like this turned into a why I hate Yusuke rant, but I just really hate him. There's one other person that comes really close to my hatred for Chris Brown 2.0, and it's Mariko. You didn't see that coming, did you? At the beginning, I really wanted to like Mariko. Sure, she was materialistic and somewhat of a whore, but that's just because she was stuck in a love triangle with the main character, and you already know what that means. She's not gonna get the guy. I sympathized with her during these times, but when she started being a top tier dickhead to Ayumi, I just couldn't back her anymore. I can't physically describe how angry she made me, and I don't even want to because I'll actually be her all day. But that's not even what really pissed me off about her. What really winded me up was how she decides to do a 180 personality change, not for herself, but for a man that slaps her in front of her friends.
Pause this whole thing right now. Pause this whole thing right now.
Plus the whole I only wear Chanel and use Chanel products was getting played out. At the start it was a funny gag until they ruined it. Like some of the products that the show claimed was Chanel was an obvious lie. Chanel doesn't do toilet paper products. Like now you're doing too much. You're ruining it.
Man, you're just ruining it. Look at my lips, you're ruining it.
Yeah, get the bleeding bow. Now we move to Ayumi. No one is this nice. This is unrealistic. It's actually gas how Nana was able to make such human characters. And this is a Mary Sue character. She has no flaws that we can relate to, and in return, sympathize with her. Like if she actually did something about her feelings for Yusuke, I probably would have liked her. Bear in mind she has no loyalties to Mariko, especially with the way she treats her like literal shite. Oh wait, I forgot she's not in the opening, meaning she's not a main character. Right, that makes sense. That's why she's sucking everyone off like her life depends on it. Whore. Get the fucking bow. I don't hate the other characters as much as I hate these three, because I never even liked them to begin with. Mikako was a bleeding spoiled brat from the get-go that chose to act like a child and liked to pretend that she didn't get periods and that her tits haven't bleeding dropped yet. So I was obviously never gonna like a weirdo like that. Tsutomu was a self-absorbed dickhead that genuinely thought he was God's gift to mankind, and this was obvious by episode 2. P-chan was another weirdo that doesn't seem to understand that she can get pregnant now. Like you've gone through puberty, you're a grown woman now, and you're still gonna flex that you wear teddy bears on your chest.
To this day! To this day!
Like, come on, cop on. And that leaves us with Riza and Jiro. I have nothing bad to say about them because they were barely even in the anime. They were never even given the opportunity to piss me off. So what's not to like about them? I would have appreciated it if they got more screen time, but no. They chose to focus on Mikako's mom and Noriji because why not? The show already doesn't make any sense. The soundtrack was actually decent, but what were they thinking with that opening? Like, did he really sit there and say, yeah, that's a good take?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That literally sounds like a rat on fire. My ears are bleeding. Yeah, this romance anime was terrible and a waste of time. I can't believe I watched 50 episodes of this stupidity. It's just funny to think that the writer of this trash is the same writer for Nana, but I guess you have to start somewhere. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and like always, make sure to like, comment and subscribe for more animation related content.